Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Jordan's vlogs. And Jordan is, like you guys know now, running Conjugate. His idea, he wanted to do it. He went and bought some equipment, and hopefully we have his chains set up pretty soon because he's bought some chains and things. But for now, we're starting him on straight weight. All right, this week we started with a Buffalo bar bench, and he's like, Coach, that thing was hard. So he did like 160, and you guys saw it was a little slow off the chest, which is what we expect on a wide grip with that bar. Because with that bar, the wider you grip it, the more difficult it is. The more difficult it is. And he's been a little conservative on his other maxes. I laughed. He just ended up pulling 315. He was messaging me while he was doing the ramp up, and I'm like, no, put 315 on the bar and just pull it. You did like 6 warm-ups. Right? He did like a 295 or whatever. I'm like, no. Put 315 on and pull it. You'll be able to pull it easy. And he walked in and did, which you guys will see later. But I'm okay with my guys early on in Conjugate starting very conservative because I want to see training maxes. So what does his day look like? Pause benching on max day. Right? We do 5 sets of pause bench, building the chest up. We were doing pull-ups, but he switched over to inverted rows mid-workout because the rule I have, if his forearm starts to hurt, because again, he's got some screws in there from a previous surgery, we go over and do inverted rows, and that's okay. We can build these things up gradually. I like both. I like my guys to be able to do both. We do oftentimes want a mix of vertical pulling and horizontal pulling. Or as we call it, rows versus chin-ups or pull-ups. But, in the case of some of my guys, a lot of my guys, we only really do pull-ups if they do other upper back work. That's something that came up. People are like, how come you have this guy just do 10 sets of pull-ups a week? Why is there no rowing? But it's people who do volume deadlifting and stuff, right? We don't do that on the Conjugate, so we need to make sure that we're getting, that extra upper back work. And we'll add more for him over time. I add other stuff for it, plate raises, we do upright rows, sometimes laterals, whatever we need to do for a lot of my lifters if they need the volume. But as you guys saw, he does that, then he does a bunch of band press downs. Again, I want to build those tendons for him. Some people are like, a lot of you guys do a lot of press downs, a lot do free weight stuff. Yes, and I do a lot of mix depending on where they're at. Someone like Jordan, he's a basketball player. And we have a history of some arm issues. I want to build tendons. I want to build those things up for him. So I have him do a lot of band press downs. It's a staple for him. And and over time we will do other tricep work as needed. But he likes to bench fairly wide, and so we do wider grip benching, and then we do triceps that way. My guys who are more closer grip benchers will do more of that. But in his case, he just wants better overall development. He wants to look like he lifts while being good at his sport. But sport specificity first, and then the other stuff second for him. But, he wants chest and arms. He wants some chest and arms, and that's okay. We'll give him that. But, again, for him, sports first. We want to be strong. We want to be fit. We want to be explosive. And, of course, people need to remember, you see that box, he does plyometric work, and he does sled drags and stuff outside of this. So, again, we kind of come over to that point of, people say, well, how do you train an athlete? Well, this is how I train my athletes. Even my golfers, my fighters, right? I got a golfer who does bands change and a reverse hyper and a glute ham raise. He has them at home. It's like Jordan playing basketball, doing Conjugate with sled work and jumping. Okay, now, of course, we've got chains coming here soon because we want that accommodating resistance if we can get it for athletes. You guys saw Josh, BJJ guy. We do Conjugate, and he does tons of rolling and conditioning. All right, it's how I train my athletes. But then we have Emma. She doesn't compete in anything anymore. She just wants to be really strong and fit. Train her this way. She does a little less conditioning and stuff than some of these other people. Right? The training can be the same. You can train your gen pop people this way. So then we get over to his speed benching. Because if you guys saw for lower day, he does split squats. We do good mornings and he does hanging leg raises. Now he's going to get some slings because he realized, yeah, my setup sucks. So notice with Jordan, we're changing the grips as we go. We're doing speed benching, 3 different grips using compensatory acceleration, 9 sets of 3. Afterwards, dumbbell presses. Okay, we get in and we do some dumbbell presses. Again, hitting a second pressing pattern, building chest, building triceps, building front delts. And I like dumbbells. A lot of people get on that, and I've seen people say, oh, how come all your people only barbell press? Really, a lot of my guys do dumbbell presses. I guess a lot of my vloggers don't do as many, but some of them do. I have multiple vloggers who do dumbbell presses. All right, so I've got him doing dumbbell presses after his speed bench, because I'm not chasing necessarily a specificity for his benching there. It'll bring his bench up. We're just building more chest, more triceps. All right, then he does his inverted rows. Again, lats, upper back, biceps grip. All right, high rep band press downs. I'd like him to grip these a little tighter up, a little further up. This setup's a little floppy. Like Jordan, watch my setup a little closer. And grip it up higher. And he and I will discuss that. All right, lower day, speed lower, dynamic effort lower. Wide stance box squats, just below parallel. Again, being as explosive as possible. He's new to box squatting, so he's still learning, but he's not doing bad at all. But note that wide stance, and then we try to drive the knees out after we break it off the floor. That wide stance plus the single leg work that you've seen him do, this is what you want for field athletes. And I count basketball as a field athlete. Yes, it's technically on a court, but it's a field athlete. They jump. They have to have lateral movement. Wide stance will give you a lot more stability for those things. Okay, it makes better athletes. In fact, we could argue sumo pulling does too, which we haven't had him do sumo yet, but it will be coming in the rotation. All right, then we do speed pulls, doubles. All right, we do doubles on the speed pulls. Afterwards, he does good mornings and hanging leg raises. All right, now his volumes are not super high. Why? Because he's very active. He's got a lot going on. We're going to build work capacity over time. This is sufficient to get him bigger, stronger, more explosive at his level of advancement. Now, he does GPP and conditioning, so he's in good shape and he's got good work capacity, but we will over time translate some of that into work capacity under the bar. But keep in mind, we're chasing muscle for him, but we're not necessarily right now chasing elite numbers on the lifting. We just want to get strong. We come over to people say, well, what do you want for a field athlete? 2 to 2.1 times their body weight on a squat seems to give tremendous performance carryover in studies. Going beyond that doesn't make people jump higher or run faster. It's a good metric to work with. Based upon the research, but he can't squat double his body weight yet. We want to be just above a double body weight squat. And so we get stronger until then. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.